and like you could tell JR loves you. Like he's really into RVD and like what you're able to bring. And like even in '97 when you get started out, he like kept tabs on you and stuff like that. It was just like to kind of have that guy back you and know that you got the time. It's obviously like you're there, you know. It's like JR knows his shit. So um how did you think about him too as working with him behind the scenes overall, and not just as a commentator but just as an individual that you got to interact with?
Um, I I like him a lot more now than I did back then.
Hmm.
I was caught up in political warfare, which I pushed back against very much, and he was part of that. He was Office. Uh,
Yeah.
him and Paul Heyman were kind of playing tug of war with me over who brought me in and who would get credit for it. And it was frustrating to me because I would talk to one and then I would happen to talk to the other one. And it was weird because they were like, bearing each other through me. And it was just like, it was driving me nuts. But also, he was the money guy. I went to him when I first got there after my first match. And I said, I don't work for this. Are you kidding me? I got a $500 check for wrestling my first house show against Johnny, what's his name? Damn. I'm thinking of the mobster Johnny Stompanato, but Johnny the Bull.
Oh, Stamboli.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
guy,
Johnny Stamboli. Hmm.
brother. Yeah. Anyway, we had a match in Atlanta, and I got $500, and I was like, I haven't worked for this in like years, like what the fuck, and this was like one of the maybe the second that I remember real talk that I had with JR. The first one he talked about at the Marriott when he had to hire me, or
Yeah,
had to
yeah. Hmm.
pre-screen me to hire. And then this time he was like, "Well, you want to be the guy that sells the tickets," and I'm like, what control do I have over that? You know what I mean? And he said, well, not, he said, look, he said, yeah, well, it's going to take time. He said, look, he said, that may not seem like very much, but you multiply that, times 20, 30 days a week. I mean, a month. And he said, and it goes up. And he said, you want to be the guy, not necessarily the main event, but the match that they talk about on the radio, the match that's on the poster, the match that's on the T-shirt that they're selling tickets to, and he went on to tell me at that time that Steve Austin had made a 7-digit royalty payment, which is quarterly, and so I'm thinking like, damn, uh, uh, that sounds cool, but that's him, and I got fed that a lot of times, but anyway, he was saying, you got to hang in there, and I was like, well, if it's gonna take a while, I'm gonna have to hit you guys up for a loan first because I have my life, my living expenses. I'm used
Yeah.
I didn't think I was coming here to lose money, um, and then there was that talk, and then there was a couple times, at least twice that I can remember when I went to him because I thought that the check was wrong, and both times he was just like, "Oh, you're right,"
Hey,
and
there you go.
I was like, "Man, is that part of the system? Is that something I'm supposed to do regularly?" Because I'm not good at stuff like that. If that's what was expected of me, but it was like you said, I was gonna get at least this much, and oh yeah, you're right. We were bumped off WrestleMania and put on heat or something, but you said I'd still get paid as if I was on Mania, and this ain't, that was one of them, and there was another one. So, he was always cool. I learned to like him a lot more, and everybody in general, I learned to like a lot more later in life after my competitive perspective actually dissipated, basically.
Well, he was saying that too on the podcast. It's like that everybody like the wrestling mentality is a lot like, hey, it's competitive. Not only that, but you have like the alpha male kind of identity there that's going on, and then on top of that, he's somebody that's he's the money man, he's the talent guy. It's just like there's that kind of wedge there that's kind of built in, from a business perspective with a bunch of pro wrestlers. So
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely creates that kind of vibe. But You could tell he really likes you. That's for sure
Yeah,
now, you
yeah,
know?
he was never like uncool or did anything to me, that I know of.
Yeah.
You know.